I still remember that day like a punch to the gut, even though it's been years. The memory is burned into my mind, my father's face twisted with disgust, my mother's eyes welling with tears, my siblings sneering like I was some kind of joke. They told me I'd fail, that I was wasting my life chasing a pipe dream, that I was an embarrassment, a lunatic, a fool. And in that moment, standing in the middle of their living room, I felt every ounce of their judgment, every cruel word they'd hurled at me over the years. They called my obsession primitive, my work pointless, my dreams delusional. They wanted me to give up, to abandon this foolish pursuit of urban ecological restoration through foraging. The tiny stubborn seed I had planted in my heart that refused to die. I was a disillusioned botanist once, driven by groundbreaking research on drought-resistant plants. I'd poured my soul into it, only to have my discoveries stolen and discredited by a jealous colleague, leaving me disillusioned, broken, and furious. But I refused to surrender to their mockery. Instead, I turned to the streets, to the forgotten corners of the city, where weeds and wild plants thrived amid concrete and chaos. I knew they'd never understand. To them, foraging was primitive, something beneath the dignity of science. But I saw something different, a way to rebuild communities, to heal the fractured land and ultimately ourselves. I spent years planting, foraging, restoring. I watched barren lots turn green, cracked sidewalks sprout wildflowers, abandoned rooftops bloom with life. I wasn't just growing plants. I was growing hope. And I was proving that nature, resilient and fierce, could reclaim even the most displaced habitats. But nobody believed me. My colleagues ridiculed my methods, calling them backwards. My family dismissed my work as a childish obsession. And yet, I kept going. Every setback, every failed experiment, every sneer fueled my resolve. I knew deep down that this was my true calling, that the work I was doing, restoring urban ecosystems, was vital. It was my way of fighting back against the destruction, of proving that resilience wasn't just a word, but a force that could shape the future. Then, one day, everything changed. It was months after I'd started gaining recognition in underground circles, respected environmentalists, city planners, community leaders who saw the profound impact of my work. I had turned abandoned lots into thriving green havens, helped neighborhoods reclaim their spaces, and inspired a movement. My name was finally being spoken with respect, not mockery. I had become someone who could stand tall and say, "This is what I do. This is who I am." And so, I returned home unexpectedly, unannounced, with a suitcase full of plans and a heart pounding with a mixture of nerves and pride. Walking through the door, I felt the weight of their past words pressing down on me. My father looked up, eyes narrowing, as if trying to see some foolish outsider. My mother's face was streaked with tears, and my siblings exchanged uneasy glances. They had no idea what I had become, no clue how far I had come. Then, I did something I'd never done before. I stepped outside and led them to the backyard. What they saw stunned them, and I saw it in their eyes, a flicker of disbelief, then awe. The yard I had transformed wasn't just a garden. It was a living testament to resilience, a patchwork of native plants, drought-resistant shrubs, edible weeds, and wildflowers that danced in the wind. The soil was rich, teeming with life. Bees buzzed happily, birds flitted between trees, and children from the neighborhood ran freely among the green corridors I'd carved out of concrete. The space had become a sanctuary for the community, a symbol of what I'd believed in all along, that nature's power can be reclaimed, that even the most forgotten corners of our cities can be reborn. My family stood there, solemn, their faces frozen between skepticism and wonder. My father cleared his throat, voice thick with emotion. You actually did this? I nodded. Yes, this is what I've dedicated my life to. Restoring what was lost. Proving that resilience isn't just an idea, but a force we can harness. Every plant here tells a story of hope, of struggle, of transformation. In that moment, I saw something I'd never seen before. Acknowledgement, embarrassment, even shame flashing across their faces. They had laughed at me, told me I'd fail. But now, they saw what failure truly looks like. An opportunity to learn, to grow, to change. And as I looked at them, I realized something profound. Their mockery was born from fear. Fear that I was daring to challenge their narrow worldview. That I was venturing into territory they couldn't comprehend. But I had turned that fear into my strength. I reached out and placed my hand on my father's shoulder. This isn't just about plants, I said softly. It's about resilience, about believing in something even when everyone else says you're wrong. It's about reclaiming our space, our future, and proving that even the most dismissed ideas can flourish if you nurture them with passion and persistence. They looked at me differently, men. Less like an outsider, more like someone who had found their purpose. And I knew in that moment I had won, not just in their eyes, but within myself. Because success isn't measured by applause or recognition. It's measured by the courage to follow your vision, despite the ridicule, despite the setbacks, despite the doubts. I had been mocked, discredited, dismissed. And yet, I stood here now, surrounded by life, by the proof that my work mattered. And that, my friends, is the real victory. The world may try to tell you your dreams are foolish. Your family may mock you. Your colleagues may dismiss you. But if you hold on to your truth, if you nurture it with unwavering faith and relentless effort, one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, you will return home to prove that what they said was impossible was only a challenge waiting to be overcome. Resilience, hope, and the refusal to give up. That's the real magic. And I've learned that sometimes the greatest triumph comes not just from what you create, but from the courage to stand tall and show the world what you've become. This is my story, and I hope it reminds you, never let anyone define your worth. Because the most powerful force in the universe is a person who refuses to be broken. And when you finally rise, truly rise, you transform the world.